It's a great pleasure to welcome you back if you have been for a while with us, and hello if you are new. In this lesson we are going to be talking about the English language skills one type. There are four types, but I will discuss shortly with you in one of the skills in which is the listening skills. So before we start, we ask a question everybody thinks about is why the listening skill is important. Everybody think about the answer before we answer because I want to think that it's important because one likes this. But the answer, my answer is that the listening skill is important because it's the skill that enable us to progress with people in our conversation, in our negotiating. But if we do not understand what the people are talking about or what they are saying to us, we will not be able to progress into negotiating with them or getting from them information and giving them information we can. So, listening skill is very important that we should learn, and it's not only listening but all the four skills are important, and we need to master them in order to master the language very well. Also, listening skill is important because if we don't master the listening skill, we cannot understand the international students, we cannot understand international teachers. What I mean exactly is that well, you will be discussing with people. You will meet people from different countries. Then anyone discuss the language by different accents. You face a problem in the listening skills, but wherever you master the listening skill, then you can be able to understand other people. So, okay, we have the source of information that we use to try to understand somebody's speech. There are three types of this source of knowledge. The first one, and it's which one we will talk about. The first one is schematic knowledge. Schematic knowledge we have in the middle. We have the context, and in the bottom we have the language. Well, let's think firstly about if somebody was telling us a story that two persons are going to the valley and they were trying to discuss with me. They were telling and they on a lot of speed. First of all, what we want to do is we need to understand the content. What do they want to talk about? Maybe they want to tell me about a crime. Maybe they want to ask me about the ways they want to pass, or they want to ask me about anything. So we need to understand what is the content of the topic then to understand the other things. Well, then we have other very important things that we need to understand, that we need to recognize. We have the phrases and we have the grammatical forms, the pronunciation, and the vocabulary. These are very important because when you are discussing with, for example, a native speaker, you need first of all to understand their pronunciation because their pronunciation is different from yours and from the other second language learners or the non-native speakers. So we need to understand even the words they say, because a lot for more time people may mistake in understanding the words, because there are some words which look like each others, and we can understand it as a meaning and the speaker mean another thing, and this is a problem. So if, for example, we have the homophones and homonyms, this also sometimes we make. So we need to focus on the sentences, phrases that said by the speakers, and we can understand the content, the meaning of, or the meanings that the one who talks to us needs to say or need to send it. Well, for example, also one day, this is in the vocabulary. In vocabulary are the words. So we need to learn a lot of words. Do not learn the vocabulary single. You have to learn them in sentences, in phrases. For example, when I say resilience, I want to know it in the phrase you say. I give example. Say we need the personal resilience and the community resilience. This one I understand this very well, but when I just say resilience, then I forget tomorrow, because if I keep more than 100, for example, or just say 30 words or 10 words per day, each day in a month, I will have about if it is 10, we will have about 300 words, and this one will be a problem. Then we forget, we can't remember even a third of these vocabulary. So we need to keep them in phrases. We need to read a lot to find the words in their use. And when we listen also to the native speakers, we know how they use these vocabularies. Well, we want to focus with the person while he is speaking in the vocabulary exactly. For example, one day when I was hunting a job, I was talking to the taxi driver. I told taxi driver, I want you to take me to the industrial areas. I did not mean to go to industrial but I mean that I want to go to the place where I can find factories. I was hunting a job. I was searching about a job, so I want to go to the companies to see. Then I tell the taxi driver, please, can you take me to the industrial areas? Well, I ride the taxi, and the taxi was moving for 1 hour. Then he said, okay, here's the industrial areas. When I went there, I find that he has taken me to the industrial area, and I did not mean industrial area is in Arabic al Mentiga Sinaiya. I didn't want to go there exactly. I wanted to go to the place where I can find factories. So I did not use the right word, and he understand what I said exactly. Well, another example, one of the villagers, he came to the city and he just made a mistake. So police asked him. Police said, no, no. Police said to him, "You are under arrest." And everyone knows under arrest that it means that you are under arrest by police. Police will take you to the prison because you made a mistake. He said to the police, "Sir, I don't want to rest." And here he mean that he is tired and body is telling him to stay and have rest. So this is the misconception of the listening skills or the vocabulary exactly, because he get the meaning, but he said something and he said another thing. Well, we need to focus while we are learning even the vocabulary because we might use this vocabulary in the wrong use. Well, other thing exactly also the pronunciation, because while we are pronouncing anything, we might pronounce it wrong. So listen carefully to master your pronunciation. Eh, Most of the people they talk, but they made a mistake. Someone we were in a lesson while one of the students raised up his hand. He said, "Teacher, I am going to pray." Teacher laughed and said, "No, how can you pray? Are you a donkey?" So the donkey is praying, and he wanted to go to pray, to pray. Well, so we need to focus in our speech or the pronunciation of the words, and also, as one said, one driver said to the passenger, "Okay, let me park here. Let me park here." The word is park, and bark is the dog's voice, dog's noise. We call it a park, bark, and he has to say park, parking, to park in the place of the car parking. Well, the grammar forms. Also, in grammar, we need to understand the grammar constructions because sometimes when we do not learn about grammar, some sentences, some phrases we can't understand become as a problem for us. And we need to eliminate all these obstacles to master the language, to speak language clearly. We want to avoid all the barriers that we find while we are talking with people. We want to talk freely. So we must study hard the different things, and we must try to elicit our mistakes while we are talking with people. One thing also I want to tell you exactly, while you are discussing with people, you have to be attention that you don't need to know all the words in the conversation. Might you might be talking with native speakers, so a lot of words or one word inside the sentence, long sentences you don't know. When you know the content, what are you discussing about, so you can understand the other words uh, directly through the sentences. So you don't need to know them, or you don't need to explain or translate, because no one will wait you to translate the words and then discuss with you. Well, these are the things that we wanted to discuss, and we said exactly, if you cannot understand the other people, you will always frustrate and you will feel unhappy because you will tell yourself that you don't know how to speak the language and a lot of things. Mm, these are the contents that we wanted to discuss. So thank you so much for everybody. These are just as short lessons, are not perfect. So if a matter mistake or all these things, so just we correct each other, we learn from each other. See anything while you are writing the comments, you clarify some points, because if we want to discuss about the skill of one of the English skill, there are four. If we want to discuss this only about one, will take very long time. But this is as a short points. I explain them, and then I explain also about the other skills simply. And these are not all about the listening skills. Here, I'm only encouraging you to learn and to focus in listening skills. Why? Because of the experience or because of the things I have found. I come in the community where people where I find different people from different places. So I find Indians and I find the British, I find Americans, I find Asians, I find a lot of people from different kinds from different countries, continents, where everybody use English by different accents and different dialects. We face a lot of problems to understand some people, especially the Indians, because they are using the language as they are talking English as they are talking their language. So we find a little bit problem to deal with people, but wherever we listen to them more and we master our listening skills, so everything getting to be easy. Thank you so much for everybody follow this video till the end of it, and see you the next time.